And now, a Ladz City Radio special guest.
All right. Hope everyone's doing well out there. You're hanging out with DJ Savage inside Ladz City Radio. We are blessed to have on the stage with us today Adam McBride. How are you doing, my man, Adam? Hope I'm coming through loud and clear.
Sound great, man. Great to be here, brother.
Oh, absolutely. How's your week going, man?
Day's going awesome. Do you guys want to see my face? Is this going to be videoed as well? I mean, sometimes people, it's like good to connect facially.
I mean, they can see your face on your little profile picture there. I was gonna get my Twitch all booted up and send this out to everyone so they could watch, but when I started it today, it said it had the wrong key and it didn't want to start. I tested everything else today. It will be Twitch that takes an update and shuts me down. I am recording this though,
OBS
so
is a pain in the ass, isn't it, man?
Oh man, I tell you what, there's always something. There's either a voice issue or an echo, or my man Buffalo's in the crowd right now. He runs Ladz City Radio on Tuesdays. He is such a pro. I tell you what, that guy makes it look like it is so easy. It is definitely not easy. I'm sure you've ran into some audio issues or video issues. It seems like you've been in the industry for quite a while.
I was doing streams on YouTube back in the day. I'd run it through OBS and use fucking Skype. That's how fucking shitty my shit was back in the old days, man.
Man.
So I've been around a while.
Yeah, I definitely tried getting that set up there. I didn't really like that setup. I wasn't really too big of a fan of OBS. Buffalo put me on vMix, which is like a paid program that's very similar to OBS. It runs a lot nicer, but you know that software is like $1,000 or something like that. But it works really nice when it works. Hey, I've had no issues with anything so far, and I think Twitch took an update today, not necessarily vMix that got me. Yeah. So I was looking over your Twitter profile, and I initially was interested in talking to you just because you were on Elio's show and you were talking about Pixel Map and being an NFT archaeologist, and all that sounded super interesting. But when I started diving into your Twitter profile, you do so much. NFT archaeologist, curio cards, mooncats, ether waifu, pixel maps. You have your own Discord, got a podcast. Seems like you're just killing it, man. How long have you been in the industry?
I don't know about killing it, man. Maybe killing myself. Maybe my wife wants to kill me. Yeah, man. The last 6 months have been the craziest 6 months of my life. I mean, I started basically in February in NFTs, like kind of hard. And when Mooncats happened in March, I mean, I have a full-time job, but I was working at least 10 hours a day just on NFTs, trying to find old projects. And have done that now where I'm spending 15 hours a day. I quit my job and just doing 15 hours a day, still trying to find old projects. It's a lot harder now because they've almost all been found, but there's still a few out there, and we're still working on them and trying to bring them back to life. My thesis is that now where it's basically you can have unlimited projects, there can be unlimited drops every single day, and there basically are right now, that those old ones are going to hold a special collection, a special place for collectors. And so that's my thesis, and that's what I'm trying to kind of bring to people, which are these old projects, the ones that were foundational for NFTs to exist as modern NFTs, and to tell those stories about, you know, the kind of history of NFTs. That's what I'm up to.
How many NFT projects have you resurrected or found?
Oh God. I don't know. It's probably if not myself, like honestly, a lot of it is, you know, I don't think there's been one where I've just like brought it to life by myself, right? It's always maybe I find them. Often it's other people who find them. They bring them to me. I'm working with the developers to kind of remake these projects because some of them, you know, people, it's funny how many people in 2015 and 16 thought that like Ponzonomics or Ponzi schemes of pricing were the way to go. So it's very common. You'll see NFTs back then where it was like you bought the thing and then the contract immediately relisted it for 30% more and you could not opt out of it, right? And they thought that was a great idea from like a marketing perspective. Like, wow, you can turn around and sell you know, instantly make 30%. It's great. While today we're like, well, that's fucking sucks. It's not a real NFT, right? I want to be able to hold this thing and not be able to sell it, right? So, but there are ways to like fix that. And so like, you know, working with people and devs to try and fix those problems. and still bring those NFTs to life in today's marketplace. And so it's challenging, but I love it.
How do you go about finding all these old projects? Is there a special secret you're not trying to give out, or?
There is no really. There is no secret. It's changed a bit since back in like March and April, where literally I was doing like Google searches back then, time-based Google searches. Not really for NFTs. NFTs weren't really used as a term back then, but looking for art or kind of things within block that I thought would be relevant for blockchain, and that's kind of morphed now to where literally we're just looking at like all the blocks and literally going through like block by block trying to find stuff. The issue becomes you find a lot, but then it's weeding through all these ones you find to try and find ones that are actually like that people will accept in today's marketplace and that are actually NFTs. Because there's just it's really, that's when it gets into the details. I mean, we've gone through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of projects, probably 1,000 to get to that maybe 10 or so that we've kind of relaunched and re-released. So yeah, there's a lot of very monotonous kind of grunt work, and trust me, it's not just me. There's a lot of people behind me and helping me, friends of mine, developers and stuff, to kind of all figure it all out, if you will.
So I first discovered you from Pixelmap, and that has a wrapping feature on it. Can you explain that to the audience? It's a question I've got often.
Yeah, absolutely. So today's modern standard, a modern NFT, which interfaces with like OpenSea, was built through years of people trial and error, and there are multiple different, early versions of that NFT. Those early versions don't function with today's modern NFT and with OpenSea. So what you have to basically do for almost all these old contracts, think of anything kind of pre-2018. So all these 2017's projects and stuff basically need to have what I describe as a software box. So you take the old NFT, you put it in a software box called a wrapper, and once it's in that software box, then it can be traded, sold, bought, transferred, just like a regular NFT today, like an NFT of the latest, turtle drop. You guys can send it to different wallets. You can buy it, sell it. It shows up on OpenSea. That's just not possible with these old contracts. So you have to basically create this software box, which holds that old NFT and basically modernizes it for today's marketplace transfers and sales and stuff. So often, like with Pixelmap, we went into this problem where multiple developers told me before we released it that, hey man, this contract's not going to work. Ken, the developer who built, Pixelmap in 2016, hadn't put in a transfer function. He had only put in a buy sell function, because his thoughts in 2016 were, why would anybody just transfer a tile? It makes no sense. Like, why would anybody do that? He never thought about, today's thing where we want to send it to different wallets. We might want to move it around. Like, that was not even, it didn't cross his mind in 2016. So we had to work. Thankfully, I have like amazing world-class devs who were like, we can build one. And basically what we built was a system where you basically sell it to yourself. And once you sell it to yourself, then it's housed in this software box, this wrapper. It allows it to buy and sell and trade just like a normal NFT. But you have to go through this wrapper process to get it there. And it was definitely like the most complex wrapper I've ever been involved in. A lot of people said it couldn't be done. We got it done. It's super clunky, but once it's done, your Pixelmap can be traded and sold like any other NFT in the world, and still has all the awesome functionality of the original NFT, which is like you can set the image on your pixel, you can set the like links on your pixel and stuff. And so if you guys check out pixelmap.io, you can go in, you can see mine. I got, mine's like the fourth one in, because I, got that one during the rediscovery. It was the first one to test the contract, make sure the contract works and stuff. And so, yeah, you can, check it out. And it's a great project and super early, right? I mean, that's the thing about Pixelmap, is that 2016, there just are not a lot of projects on Ethereum in 2016. This was the first one that was discovered. And as of, I think today, it's still the only one in 2016. right? So if you look at that kind of infographic that was kicking around Twitter, where there's Etheria in 2015, there were a whole bunch of projects in 2017, and 2016 was empty for the longest time. Now Pixel Maps that one project in 2016.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
so far before everybody else in the industry. Do you know what was he trying to do when he created?
Yeah. I mean, this is what you run into with most of these guys who are building stuff, whether it's the Etheria guy or Ken, who did Pixel Map, and even a lot of the 2017 projects, is these guys were just building something because they're developers and they were trying to learn new skills. And so Ken, same deal, he was just trying to, sharpen and get better at Solidity. And so he did this project as a way to get better at Solidity. That was as simple as that. Didn't think anything of it. He actually did do, like, he got in chat rooms. There's an amazing, if you guys visit my Discord or go to the Pixel Map Discord, there are links to the old chat room. Dude, it's fucking awesome. It's so funny. Like, people are in that chat room, dude, and they're like, because he charged 2 ETH. That's what he charged per tile back in 2016. And in 2016, that was like $20. And there are literally people in there like, $20? This is a fucking rip-off, man. Like, literally, it's so awesome, dude. It's so awesome. And there's another dude in there who's complaining that he lost like 500 ETH, like, a couple days ago, and was so bummed, which was like, I mean, it was a legit law. It was like 10 grand back in 2016. You think about it now, 500 ETH, dude, in 2016. And so there's this awesome historical like stuff that went on with this project. Ken's done an amazing job. And if you guys check out Pixel Map, I think on Twitter, it's Pixel Map NFT. Follow him on Twitter or go to that Discord. It's, there's a lot of great history there. Love that project.
Yeah, I actually dropped it in the chat. So if anyone's listening, you head over to Advent Chat. You can see Adam's Discord server that he runs, and then I dropped a Pixel Map in there as well. You can join that one too. Are you still doing stuff with like Mooncats or Ether? Was this Waifu?
Ether Waifu.
Waifu.
Look, there are ones, and I think this is one of the things, your listeners and stuff, everybody kind of intuitively understands, which is, NFTs for a lot of us, they're emotional connections, right? When you join and buy into an NFT project, whether it's Lazy Lions or whatever, you create friends in that group, you create emotional connections. And so all these projects that I've been a part of have emotional connections for me, right? Ether Waifu in particular. I mean, Mooncats, I've said it a million times. Mooncats were my, like, that was the spark that lit my fire, right? When Mooncat rediscovery happened, it was just a magical day. I've called it, the best day of quarantine, right? It was awesome. And it really got me started on NFTs. And Ether Waifu, that was the first like real legit project that we found and relaunched. And those two guys, both of them were from Indonesia. I managed to get a hold of the developer who was living in Japan, got him on board, like, as far as like, hey, like, he had no idea, right? The project had been dead since 2018. And I told him, look, man, I think I can relaunch this for you guys. I think I can help you guys. But I want to make sure that you're going to support the project. Like, cause there was still art that needed to be done. You guys promised like a merging mechanism where, the art could produce new art, kind of CryptoKitty style, but with hand-drawn art. And I want to make sure that you guys are on board to do this, because I don't want to release it and talk about it if you guys are just going to drop the ball. And he was like, I'm 1,000% on board. And I know that Juby, the artist, is 1,000,000% on board, because this guy's never been able to make a living as an artist in Indonesia. And like, getting crap from his parents and his friends, and everybody's telling him to quit his art. And like, so yeah, I know he's 100% on board, because that's what they did. I mean, they were trying to do it in 2018. It just, the market crashed in 2018, right? And so we relaunched them. They sold out, their basically all their NFTs that next day, right? And I know it's completely transformed their lives. I mean, it's like, this is the promise and the miracle of NFTs. It's like he found a glow in one day, right? and people love Juby's art, right? And people who are, I mean, there are a lot of people who don't like it, but there are the people who do like that type of art are like, dude, this guy is like a world class at this art. He's like awesome. And so there are hardcore collectors of, who love Ether Waifu. And for me, it's an emotional connection because I know that I helped somebody. And for me, that's just like, I'll never sell my waifus. You know what I mean?
Very cool, very cool. I popped in your Discord. Looks like that's a pretty decent spot for getting some alpha there. You plan on keeping that one up? And should I send everybody over there? I know a lot of our fans or a lot of the people that hang out here inside Ladz City are also like CyberKong members, and a lot of them will go over to the CyberKong's Discord to see if they can get some alpha there. But that's kind of busy over there. It moves so fast. If you're not reading it all day long, it's kind of hard to stay up to date with some of the good alpha that's out there. I do like how your server is definitely more homey feeling and moves just a little bit slower. You can actually, read some of that alpha and have it set in. Do you plan on expanding on
the difference between us and most Discords you're going to get today is most Discords are focusing on like the latest drop or the latest thing, right?
Yep.
What you're going to get by joining ours is, of course, I mean, there are, in my opinion, the best NFT archaeologists in the world are in my Discord. Like, I have zero question about that. Everybody, if you guys follow people on Twitter who are doing what I'm doing, trying to find old projects, they're all in my Discord. So I think at the core, that's the best thing about it. But of course, these don't drop every day, right? These are, we're getting maybe one every couple weeks or 3 weeks. So you got to kind of hang on, but have your fucking notifications on, because when it goes, like, it goes down quick, right? It's like you have 15 minutes to get into potentially opportunity of a lifetime, right? And so that's kind of the cool thing about it, and it's fun. And I do like when I release a new project, like, or an old project that I'm re-releasing, I do it there first. And so usually have a 15 or 20 minute window before the rest of the world knows about it in my Discord. So it's blown up in the last few weeks. We've done a couple of drops over the last kind of month, and and so I think people appreciate that kind of early alpha. And the people who are in my Discord love the idea of historic NFTs. They're buying into that idea of these are going to hold a special place for collectors in 10 or 15 years, and that's the kind of core.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's so many projects being launched out there that are just strictly, profile picture projects, or they're gonna pump and dump, and they're just not gonna stick around. It's nice to be in some projects that have some legs, that they're gonna be around for a while. I mean, this one's, a couple of these have already survived major crashes, and they're still sticking around. Seems like you guys have an awesome team over there that's helping build them up and build up this community. So I definitely want to suggest every one of the listeners out there to go join your Discord, so you can get that early alpha, and then we can all, grab some of these gains together. It's all about teamwork. One of my favorite phrases is teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah. I mean, I try to dissuade, like, people will come in, whatever. We discovered this it's really the first NFT, in my opinion, on Ethereum, called Terra Nullius. And there was a lot of debate amongst, the smartest minds in the NFT space about whether it was an NFT or not, and the wrapper that was involved with it. Lots of problems and that sort of thing. But that debate that happens, and the Discord that is built after it, and we all see it, is people will come in and when Moon, when Lambo, right?
Yep.
And I try to tell people, look, man, that's not what we are doing. I want people to make gains. I want people to be millionaires tomorrow. Of course, I want prosperity for everybody. But the reality is when you look at these Discords and you look at the people who are involved in them, my best suggestions are, you've got to think about this long term. And when I see what happened with Cards or Mooncats or any of these projects that have been rediscovered back in March, it was not built on like marketing. There's no marketing budget. There's no like hype. What it is people who buy these things recognize their historic place, their historic significance, and then just talk about it, man. And that's it. That's all you need to do. And if a community member's like, when's this thing going to pump? Well, good. When are you going to teach somebody about this project? When are you going to talk about this project? When are you going to tweet about it? Right? Doing that, community members really have the power to do that. And if you do that for a few months, it's amazing what can happen. But so many people I see in Discord, they're just looking for other people to do the work for them. And that doesn't work, right? It takes a community to build these projects. That is clear. And so I encourage people whenever somebody hits me up in the chat, and gives me a when Lambo, I'm like, dude, when are you going to fucking start talking about this project? Because that's what's going to make a difference in it, right? I mean, always. It's the way it works.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much that the team can do for marketing. Or I definitely think that an organic growth where people are just sharing word of mouth like that from Discord to Discord or on Twitter, that definitely makes for a healthier launch or a healthier Discord. Some of these projects that pop out and have, 10, 20,000 people in the Discord, or maybe even 100,000 people in the Discord, right? I have Jump with, this Mecha one that just came out. Those Discords seem to be, let's say toxic, because if you're in there or you're trying to moderate any of them, the question over and over again, just like you've seen, is when Lambo, when Moon, I invested yesterday, I don't have 4x my money today, what's going on?
Exactly.
And that is very draining on the staff, on the moderators. You have to answer that same question over and over again. It's like, come on, guys. If you'd been in the industry for just a little bit, scroll half a page up and you'll see the answer to the question that someone else asked 5 minutes ago. I think the trend that's coming out recently that I've been seeing is NFT projects get minted for very, very cheap or nearly free on a quiet launch. And then you build up this little tiny core, and then from there it explodes. And I think that's going to be the way to go from the future or here on out. Just because when you have that small core of individuals that back your project, it's almost like a front line, if you want to use like a football term. You have all your blockers and all the people up there protecting your quarterback, so that your team just doesn't get just plastered with all the win Lambos and win Moons. And so many people just see all their friends maybe make some insane gains, and then they want to hop into the very first project that they find and have it do the exact same thing. But if people would go look
I love that analogy of like an offensive line, because it's totally true. You can have the best receivers in the world. If you can't protect your quarterback, you're screwed.
Yep.
And it's true. And nobody wants to fucking block, right?
Nope. Just
in the same way that nobody wants to do the hard work of community building and educating other people in the Discord and throughout Twitter. And, it can be hard work. And, but I don't think there's any way to do it other than that. Obviously there are other ways to do it, but dude, we've all been in Discords obviously you probably get approached just like I do every day by people like, hey, can you join our team? And I go check out their Twitter, and their Twitter has 10,000 followers. And I go to their Discord, and their Discord has 7,000 people. And I'm like, 7,000? Wow, these guys are killing it.
Yep.
Well, it turns out it's all bots and fake. It's not real, right? And, it just doesn't work, right? It has to be real. And honestly, we're in a smart community. People in this space are smart, and they can see through that shit quick. And it just doesn't work. I just have a standard right back to him now. I'm like, dude, get real, and then come back at me. Like, just stop with this fucking bullshit, dude. Stop. Because it doesn't work. And you think you're going to do your fucking lazy turtles, and, because somebody sees 8,000 people in your Twitter, they're going to think it's real. And it just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. But they can try them.
Yeah, you can buy some Twitter followers or some Discord followers for pretty cheap. I've watched a Discord go, overnight in a matter of 3-4 hours, double in size, from 4,000 to 8,000. And, those are ones that I'll be moderating. And then you go look at it, and then you just see it's a ton of bots. And then you just get a billion DM spams from everybody. The other, probably 2 weeks ago, I banned over 2,500 bots between 2 days. And then I told the team, like, hey, man, we need to get a bot in here that's going to be booting people, because this isn't sustainable. It just is not sustainable. It seems like as fast as you can boot them, they would come right back with almost the exact same name, almost, too. I swear it's just like a program they're launching with one button. And who's ever out there doing that Shame on you guys. Just shame on you. You're making it hard for
I
the
don't know how
moderators.
Discord can't fix this, man.
I know.
Why Discord can't fix this makes no sense to me, man. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't even know if Discord knows where they're at. Discord's blown up so fast, and it is becoming one of the major platforms for NFTs. And I don't even know if they know it. They have to, because they see their user base. But I feel like a lot of this stuff is fixable. I was really glad when Microsoft didn't buy Discord. There was a minute there they were talking about that, and I think they would have ruined Discord. Just absolutely. I do love Discord. It's a little bit hard to get into, but once you get into it, you meet the greatest people in here, and it's just.
Agree.
I mean, there's so many great communities. Like, once you get in, it's hard to leave. I know. I'm getting ready to just go full time myself. So, full time crypto. Nice. So I want to be in Discord all day, every day. I'm super pumped for that.
I just wish they could. The one thing I wish, honestly, is that I wish they could fix this thing with like the ability to basically completely impersonate another person.
Yeah,
I've had that fucking happen like 20 times in the last 2 months, and people are like, "Why'd you scam me?" And it's like, dude, Jesus Christ, like I just don't understand how they can't fix that. It seems like the easiest fix, but it is what it is. You gotta. I mean, I'm sure you're a public personality. You deal with that too. It's heartbreaking. You see people get ripped off because they think they're dealing with you directly because the user looks exactly like you. Yep. And I just, it's disappointing for that they can't fix something that's hurting their users. But, it is what it is. I think they're, like you said, a little bit overwhelmed. But they did just raise some money. So hopefully they can hire some more devs, man,
Yeah, absolutely. You're very well spoken. Did you want to talk about your podcast? I bet I've not popped in there. I'm definitely going to do this after this. You're very well spoken. I bet you have a wonderful podcast. That's called Amplify Art.
Well, I've been doing podcasting was a challenge I set for myself probably like 4 years ago.
Oh wow, you've been killing it. Like I said,
I wanted to do it just to challenge myself because I was getting into live streaming. I was helping my brother who has like a finance channel. We were doing a live stream every day, and I wanted to do podcasting because I actually had at that time trouble speaking publicly. Like the fear factor was huge for me, and I still get like people don't understand. Like it never fully goes away. Like before I'm coming on your show, there's like still nerves, right? And I look at those now as not nervous. I look at it as excitement. Now I'm excited to come on the show. So I've reframed it for myself. But so I promised myself I was going to do a podcast every day, and I did a podcast a day for a year. That got me in the habit of just producing a lot of content, which was a learning experience and really hard, but just challenging myself to do it. And sometimes you do stuff for years and you don't get paid. Like until the last 6 months in the NFT space, I didn't make a penny doing all my literally hundreds of podcasts, hundreds of YouTube shows, made zero money. Right. So when I'm talking to kids about, what they're doing and all that sort of stuff, by kids, I mean 20-year-olds, about what they're doing and just putting in the work, put in the work for free, man. That's the way I've done it for years. And I don't think there's any other way to just be prepared for when the opportunity comes. Like there's no way I could have taken advantage of, my opportunity in NFTs if I hadn't put in literally years of work, in advance of that. So, but I loved it. I'm not saying it was like work all the way. It's like I love talking to people. I love exploring, different stuff. And so, but you got to put in the work. There's no other way.
Yeah, absolutely. Just doing it and getting comfortable on air, like you said, just making all those reps definitely helps out a lot. I grew up in the church, so we were always, on stage doing plays or, watching my dad speak or do anything like that. So I think I've slid into this role and being comfortable on the mic just probably maybe a little bit easier than others, just because I've been in front of people talking, my whole life. That's just part of being
honestly, you're
kid.
so fortunate, right? I think for me, because I did not grow up in any way like that, right? Like I remember in college, we had like a public speaking course. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was the most terrifying course. Like I would have done anything on earth to not have to stand up there in front of people, right, and talk. So yeah, anybody out there who's listening who like still feels that same way, I would honestly say challenge yourself, because the reality is once you get over it, it's unlocking like a super skill. Like it is so valuable. And I've, with my kid, every time school has something, he is absolutely 100% involved in public speaking and speaking in front of people. And he's totally comfortable, kind of like you are. It's just a muscle you have to work. And once you work it, it becomes actually somewhat easy. And once that's easy, I just think it's like writing or communicating. It's a super skill for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you actually grow into it. When I was first doing this, I thought I was calm and relaxed on the mic, but then the girlfriend would listen to the recordings and she'd be like, I don't really know who's talking right now. Like, this doesn't sound like you. I don't hear your personality coming through. When you first hear that, you get a little upset. You're like, oh, come on, I'm just being me, and whatnot. But now as I go back and I listen to some of those early recordings, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, that doesn't sound like me. My personality's not really coming through here.
Sure.
It's wonderful to have friends and family around you that actually take an interest in you so that you can get that true feedback, because a lot of people are just so nice in this space. They just want to see you survive, or not survive. They want to see you thrive and get better. So all you're going to get is like positive feedback. So big shout out to all my mods and everyone out there that loves me and that lays into me and lets me have it. I think it's definitely improved my skills.
Honestly,
quite a bit.
You're very fortunate, bro, because I'll tell you, and anybody listening can hear me, you might not get support from your family, right? I've been very lucky and fortunate. My wife supports me in 100%. But I'm telling you, when I told like my mom that I wanted to do podcasting, what I got was, why on earth would you want to do that? Right. So don't feel like you have to have the support of close family and friends. Often they will not do it. But I encourage you to do it. And sometimes, just being strong enough to do something within yourself because it's going to be good for you, or you're actively interested in it. Just go for it, man. And there's honestly never been a better time, because with all the Clubhouse and Twitter Spaces and everything, there's fantastic opportunities to learn and talk to people and get involved. I mean, it's such a magical time, man.
Oh, I absolutely 100% agree. There's so much opportunity out here, so much money to be made. With all the different NFT groups that are coming up, you can find anything that you find interesting. You can hone in on that skill, and you'll find a group or a Discord or whatever somewhere that needs that. I've been diving into like Adobe and all the production stuff on the back end, or this kind of thing with podcasting or whatever. And there are so many groups out there that will hunt you down and say, come work for us, come help us out here. I really like this, or I like that. It does get a little overwhelming. And like you said, there's a great chance that your family will not support you. I went to school for a long time, got my bachelor's degree. I have a great job. I'm a supervisor for a bank. And I'm getting ready to quit that and go full-time Discord. And the question I get from absolutely everybody is, how are you going to pay your bills, man? Can you cash that out for money? And in the back of my mind, I'm just like, I've been talking about this for well over a year. I swear no one ever listens to me. Just doesn't listen to me. Like, if you don't know that you can just directly cash out Ethereum for USD or USDT and pay your bills, you're not going to make it, guys. Like... And you can tell them how much you've made in NFTs, and they're like, yeah, but how are you going to pay your mortgage? I'm like, what do you mean? I'll sell this one NFT over here that's worth like 60 grand, and there's half a year's salary or something like that. So I this is such an early space. I don't even think 1% of the population understands what we're doing over here in the NFT.
We're miles away from 1%, man.
Oh yeah,
we're miles away from 1%. I mean, 1%, a good portion now have heard of it. They know what NFTs are, right? But they still have zero clue on how to get one, buy one, do anything with it. I mean, I've onboarded like 5 of my friends in the last week. Like, I have like a Google Doc now where it's like, buy a hardware wallet, get the hardware wallet, get a MetaMask, like walk them through it. Because look, we're gonna have to onboard, the entire world, but people don't know about it yet at all.
Yeah, when I first started buying some Ethereum in this last bull run, I bought some initially on what is this stupid app over here? I gotta pull it up. It's a Robinhood where you can't pull it out. Man, Robinhood. And when I first bought that, I was like, oh, this sucks. You can't pull it out. What a bad investment. And I didn't want to pull it out because pay taxes and stuff on it. So I just kind of left it there. But as I've been a moderator and been in Discord and watched how many people struggle with keeping their keys or feeling safe, I really don't think that's as bad of an idea as I thought it was back in the day. Having a different party hold your keys if you don't know what you're doing in NFTs, like if you don't own a hardware wallet, and you got a bunch of NFTs worth a bunch of money, what are you doing, guys? What are you doing? That's like owning a super expensive car and then leaving it running and unlocked when you run inside the gas station. You're just asking for someone to come, steal it, rob you. Like, definitely, if you get nothing else out of this interview, buy a hardware wallet, protect yourself. If you don't know, just hop in a Discord like Adams or like Ladz City and start asking some of the people around you, because teamwork makes the dream work. There's great mods, I'm sure, in your server. We have great mods in this server. We want to make sure everyone is being protected, because that is absolutely the worst feeling, or even the worst thing to read about if you're on Twitter, is you'll hear someone saying, I lost all of this, and you can just feel it in the writing on how like devastated they are.
Devastating, dude. I mean, I literally tell people, whatever's in your MetaMask, just your MetaMask, right? Not in your hardware wallet, just in your MetaMask, consider it public, consider it gone, right? You have to think that way. So I have stuff in my MetaMask, but I'm perfectly fine losing all of it, right? Like you have to look at it that way. If you don't have it in a hardware wallet, it is gone. And I can tell you from personal experience, friends, I know a dude who lost almost $1 million worth of NFTs earlier this year. And it can happen. And it's not like this dude is stupid. He is not fucking stupid, but he got lazy by, not moving his stuff to a hardware wallet, and man, just gone. And it's gone in like a minute. And when it happens, it's devastating. And he actually had a really good attitude. Obviously he's well off, right? He could eat that and it didn't completely destroy his life. Still, you don't ever get over that kind of loss, right? So yeah, guys, protect yourself, man.
Yeah, my MetaMask, all my MetaMasks are actually connected up to a hardware wallet. It makes it very hard when you're trying to mint something because you don't have the speed. Yep. But I'm over that. I have to, people will send me songs to play and I will click them and pull them up, and everyone in Discord always says, don't click links, don't do this, don't do that. And I feel good clicking links and stuff because I don't even have my MetaMask on this computer. Right. I don't have my
you got to look
at
your computer as it's already infected. Yep. It is already,
absolutely.
You already have everything. That's the way you have to look at it. And what the hardware wallet does is it provides a barrier. And, yeah, I mean, it's literally anybody interested in buying NFTs, my step one is get yourself a ledger, and that's it, right? That's always step one. And I'm with you. Surprising enough, when I first started, I was like, not your keys, not your coins. I am not that way anymore. For the vast majority of people, I'm like, if you're, buying Ethereum and stuff, hold it on Coinbase, man. Because for a lot of the population, that's just the safest way. And like, do I believe there will be better systems in the next 3 to 5 years where that will not be, that whatever kind of communal multi-sigs or God knows what it's going to be, where we can safely hold our keys. I believe that's going to happen. It's just going to take a lot of building and a lot of engineering to get that where I can, recommend that to the average user,
I guess it depends on what kind of coins you're investing into. If you're strictly Bitcoin or strictly Ethereum, well, that's pretty easy to manage. You can get one hardware wallet and you keep it pretty simple. But I'm into like 30 or 40 coins now, and I have so many wallets. So many wallets, and I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. If I could go back to the beginning of 2020 when I was like buying a bunch of my stuff, I think I would just buy Ethereum. Like I've made a ton of money on like Solana. I turned like $300 in Solana that I got at like $1.50 or something. Yeah, it's like with 30 grand or something today. I think I'd pass that up and just go with Ethereum. just because it's so simple and everything's on Ethereum. Like if you want to be where the money's at, everyone complains about gas, and I get it. Gas will get you, but the corporations, the institutions, all the big money that's out there, they're not batting an eye at any of that gas. None of it. You know, there's safety inside Ethereum, and personally, I think it flips Bitcoin and is the king eventually. I
agree with you. Honestly, the only thing I've lost money on in the last 6 months is fucking shitcoins, man.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. It's trying to ape into these things. You remember when they were pumping? I don't remember, June or July, whenever that was. Only time I've lost money. Now I'm just like, I'm like you, man. ETH, that's it. And the rest is NFTs. And that's what I do now. I got to keep it simple. Because if you try to do everything, you're going to lose, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And the more projects you get in, the harder it is to keep up with them. So, you know, when something's pumping or making moves or whatever, I think it's just stressful, personally. There are people out there that are traders, and you'll get into something just to look to, you know, 5 or 10 exit and then sell it. I don't do that. I'm very laid back. I'm going to buy something. I'm going to plan on sitting on it for a while, you know, forget about it, leave it in the wallet, come back a year, 2 years later when it's made its gains. You know, it'll go up and down and whatever. I don't like thinking about that. That's stressful. That's one of the reasons why I was super attracted to pixel maps. You know, you can buy it. It's historical. In 5-10 years, it's going to be worth a lot more money. And there's an amazing team on it. Like, seems like you know what's up. You know, I've talked to a lot of different people in a lot of different projects, and they'll be like, hey, you know, how long have you been in this? And I'm like, well, you know, I got into NFTs, you know, 2 months ago, and my friend helped me do this. I don't like that. I used to think making an NFT was hard. I have a friend that's an art teacher. She made some layers and she compiled them all and brought them over to me. And we pumped out an NFT within an hour. I mean, there's code online that you can just download and you can use someone else's code and make an NFT. It is not hard. That's right. So you want to find good projects that have some legs, that have, you know, people on the team that know what they're doing, and finding someone that's been in NFTs, or you know, that has the ability to go out and find old projects, that calls themselves a NFT archaeologist. That's a good place to start, guys. Like you want someone that's been in the industry for a while. Like you've been doing podcasts for a long time, doing it for free. So you can see that you're not just like out there, you know, paper chasing and looking to dump on other people. There's a bunch of guys on Twitter or whatnot that are saying, you know, pay me and I'll be the influencer and I'll help pump your project. I think that is the worst idea. Absolute worst idea. Fast up, fast down. And those guys that are moving from project to project and then make it spike, and that's not the way to build a good community. If you're looking to build a family, that is not the way to do it.
I agree with you 1,000,000%. The whole idea of like pumping and dumping is not what I'm into at all. It's funny because you mentioned like coins and stuff, and I back in 2017, you know, the ICO boom was happening, and you said how easy NFTs are to make. I actually learned how to like code coins back then, because I was going to build a business around making coins, and you know, took a month and learned how to code coins and all this sort of stuff, and started a business. Like literally, it was my website was like webuildcoins.com or something, right? I thought it was going to be great. Like I was going to help teams launch ICOs, this idea of, you know, fundraising, and what ended up happening was I was literally talking to people who were like, they just wanted coins that they could pump and dump. And after like 2 months, I shut the whole thing down because I was like, I can't be a part of this, man. Like I'm not gonna screw people. Like that's not what I'm about. It's not what I want to do. And I think the same thing with NFTs. Of course, probably more than half of the projects are literally just people trying to money grab and dump. Certainly not to say all, because I do think a lot of people are trying to do new things and create value. But a lot of these, I mean, everybody has to be aware, the vast majority of these projects in a couple of years are going to be worthless, right? So it's very difficult to find what are going to be the gems, what are going to be the Bored Apes, what are going to be the CryptoPunks, what are going to be the ones that succeed in this market today. It's going to be very difficult to predict that. And I can't predict that. So I'm leaning on the historic angle. Of course, I tell everybody, look, I could be fucking wrong. I could be totally wrong. But that's That's the angle I'm taking. Whether I'm wrong or not, I guess we'll see. But I've always say to people, look, you can't make any more 2016 projects. The ones that were made in 2016 and 17 were made, and that's it. Like, there's a hard cap. And we're still trying to find a couple more, but there is a hard cap. So I think that's interesting.
Absolutely. I know you have to go here in about 3-4 minutes. You have a meeting or something. I don't want to hold you up there. Was there anything that you wanted to touch on before I let you go? Anything you wanted to tell the listeners?
Just join us in. I think if you guys join me in my Discord over there. If you're interested in historical projects, if you're not, no worries. Don't pass in. But if you are interested in kind of these historical projects, and the new one, finding new ones, which is kind of my job, I think join us there. I mean, we have some amazing, actually, artists. This is something I don't touch on much, but back in early Bitcoin, there were some world-class artists who tried to do NFTs on Bitcoin. And probably your listeners don't know these people, but we have several of them in our group. It's pretty amazing. I've interviewed now most of them for my podcast. I'll have those podcasts coming out in the next couple of weeks. And, you talk to these guys like Joe Hamilton, who did an NFT. He was basically did the first NFT on Bitcoin after the one that was done on Namecoin like a month before, right? And this dude did one back then in like 2014. And you hear these stories of artists trying to do work on Bitcoin and work through Bitcoin to create NFTs, basically on a platform that was not built for NFTs, right? Ethereum was built for NFTs. Bitcoin was definitely not. But you hear stories about these leaders who were just trying to do something to change the world. And they didn't realize they were changing the world. They just recognized at that point in time in 2014 or 15 that, oh shoot, like digital scarcity can be a thing. And they recognized it back then. And I think that's really special. And trying to tell that historical kind of how historically significant those were back then. That's something I'm really focused on and something we touch on in the group. And we're going to be telling over the next 6-8 months, kind of these stories and exposing you guys to these artists and these early projects is what I do. And so if any of you all are interested in that, follow me on Twitter and jump in our Discord, and that's what we're about.
Absolutely. Go join Adam's Discord. Go hop in Pixel Maps. Go, jump in Mooncats and all the ones over there. I bet you all of those are amazing Discords. I know we have a lot of people that are listening or that do listen later on that are from Costa Rica. Have you been there a long time? Is that where you call home?
Yeah, man. Over 20 years now, believe it or not. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I've lived outside of the States now for more of my life than I've lived in the States, which is
very cool.
Absolutely bomb. My brain can never wrap itself around that, right? But yeah, lived down here for over 20 years and took up surfing, big surfer. We have had businesses, my wife and I, for years here in Costa Rica. That's what my original podcast was about like life, business in Costa Rica. And that's what I've done for years, and kind of we built a life here. And now I'm doing NFTs in Costa Rica, but I still love Costa Rica. It's a fantastic place to live.
Awesome. I know you're going to get a lot of fans from that comment right there. We have a lot of indivials that listen.
If you need to know surf spots, hit me up, man. I know all the surf
the
spots.
alpha. Oh wait, I got a button for this. There's a little bit of alpha coming in, guys.
Ladz City Alpha Drop.
You want a surf spot? Here's your guy. Go join him in his Discord. Go follow him. Go look at Pixel Maps. Definitely keep your notifications on for the Discord. Sounds like you might get 15 minutes or so. Get a little pre-sale of some awesome stuff. Get yourself some well-priced NFTs that could change your life. I'm gonna let you go. Take off to your meeting. Big thank you for coming on the show, man. You did an excellent job. It was super fun talking to you. If you ever want to come back on the show, or you are launching a new project or anything like that, go ahead and hit me up. I'd love to have you back on at any point in time and speak with you again, Adam.
Love it, man. Thanks so much, brother.
Yep. Have a good one. All right. With that,